live.
Question from Fawaniya, Kuwait. Muhammad Salah, can you explain in brief the supplication Subhanallah wa bihamdihi adada wa khalqihi until the end? Could you explain that? And he wants to know, can I have your WhatsApp?
1 second, please. Alright, I'm going to read, inshallah ta'ala, share something with the viewers, bidnillah, with regards to last night. It's a fatwa, a question. It says, السؤال من عبد العزيز إلى عبد الله بن باز إلى حضرة الأخت الكريمة إلى آخره. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أما بعد فقد وصلني كتابكم الكريم المؤرخ بدون وصلكم الله بهداه وجعلنا وإياكم ممن خاف ربه واتقاه. وما تضمنه من السؤال عن امرأة عندكم مات زوجها في الخليج وقد عزمتم على السفر إلى الطائف، فهل لها أن تسافر معكم قبل خروجها من العدة؟ وهل لها أن تشاهد التلفزيون وتسمع الراديو؟ ورغبتم في الفتوى أو ورغبتكم في الفتوى كان معلوما. The question was sent to Sheikh Abdulaziz ibn Baz, rahimahullah, obviously probably 30 years ago, if not longer than that, with regards to a woman who lives in the Gulf, Kuwait, Qatar, UAE, Al-Mam al-Khalij. She's a widow, her husband has died, and she wants to know, can she travel with you guys to Ta'if? Most likely it's probably her family. Can she travel with you to Ta'if in Saudi Arabia? Can she go there? And also, is it permissible for her to travel with you guys before her iddah is up? Before what? The iddah is finished. The 4 months and what? 10 days. And is it permissible for her to watch the television and to listen to the radio? That's what it says. طيب, moving forward. The answer, الجواب. إذا كانت المرأة المذكورة ساكنة عندكم حين جاء الخبر بوفاة زوجها فعليها أن تبقى لديكم حتى تخرج من العدة. وإذا سافرتم إلى الطائف فلا بأس أن تسافر معكم إذا كان البيت لا يبقى فيه من يحسن جلوسها أو يحسن جلوسها عنده حتى تنتهي العدة. أما مشاهدتها للتلفزيون وسماعها للراديو فلا بأس أن تشاهد وتسمع المباح كقراءة القرآن والأحاديث الدينية والأخبار النافعة كغيرها. The question says, وعليكم السلام, if the woman got the news that her husband had died and she was with you, then she must stay there until her iddah is over. And if she travels with you, the people whom she's with, when she got the news of the death of her husband, then there's nothing wrong with that. As he says, إِذَا كَانَ الْبَيْتُ, if there's no one to stay with her in the house. It's not good for her to be there, either with whoever it is, and it's best for her to be with you, travel, then that's one thing. Everyone understand this? As far as her watching the television and listening to the radio, actually, we're not here to discuss that issue. You can't watch TV or listen to the TV or listen to the radio. The only point that I wanted to mention here was with regards to her traveling before the iddah is over. So the Sheikh, he mentioned her traveling with people that she's already with, and the reason for her traveling is that there's no one, what? She can't be there. Like I said last night, why can't your family members come and visit what? You. Are you alone? Are you by yourself? Is traveling to another country for either Adha, is that a necessity? Is that even a need, let alone a necessity? You understand this? Moving forward. The Shaykh rahimahullah, he says, أما الأمور التي يجب على المحدة اجتنابها فهذا بيانها. As far as the things that the woman who's the widow has to stay away from in the iddah period, then they are as follows. أولا ترك الطيب في بدنها وثيابها. She's not allowed to perfume herself, her clothes or her body. ثانيا ترك لبس الجميل من الملابس وإنما تلبس الأسود أو الأخضر أو الأزرق ونحوه الذي ليس فيه جمال. Secondly, she is not allowed to wear attractive clothing. She's not allowed to wear attractive clothing. Rather, she should wear black or green or blue. أو نحوه, or any other color which isn't considered jameel. Pay attention to this. First and foremost is that the concept of clothing that isn't attractive is not just restricted to black. Misunderstanding. You say, well, a woman has to wear black because it's the most unattractive color. هذا غلط. هذا غلطة. That's wrong. He says, or green or blue or anything else that isn't attractive. النقطة الثانية, the second point, المقصود والله على المسلم by this, is not just the sheer color, but it's the concept of the color as well. Because there's black lingerie that a woman can wear. And a woman can wear a skin tight dress that's what? Black. And she can wear a long dress that's white. So it's not, and we've explained this before in many classes, talking about the hijab of the Muslim woman. The hijab of the Muslim woman is not restricted or just pertaining to a color, without the style and the fabric and the cloth and the manner how it's worn unless it's a specific hadith that mentions a color. A woman can wear a black overgarment and a woman can wear a black miniskirt. The color is not the thing, but it's the style. A woman can wear cotton and she can wear silk. A woman can wear loose black or she can wear tight black. It can be sheer. It's not just the what? Color, everything. Unless there's what? Sahih Bukhari, the Prophet ﷺ says women should not wear this color. And even that is an understanding and an interpretation. We're trying to warn from the people's misunderstandings that they've been fed. Rather, it's been thrown down their throats of what is and what isn't the sunnah. And if a sister doesn't wear black, then she's automatically what? Not on the sunnah and a deviant. That's wrong. You understand this. Moving forward. He says, الَّذِي لَيْسَ فِيهِ إِشْ جَمَالٍ. That which doesn't have beauty in it. So if she wears black and her black is beautiful or attractive, then that's also a no. Understand this. Moving forward. ثالثا الحلي من الذهب والفضة وسائر المعادن النفيسة كالماس واللؤلؤ وأشباه ذلك. Number 3, she can't rock any jewels or jewels, gold, silver, or any other precious metal. Precious mineral, such as what? He says kalmas, that ice. Everyone understand it? The what? The Russian cut what? VVS's. You know what that stands for? You know what a Russian cut VVS is? Google it. Google the VVS diamond. Moving forward. VVS. S. Tayyip? Or, I don't know. You Google it, okay? Or blue diamond. And the other types of expensive what? Diamonds. What did the poet say? What? Czechoslovakian. The poet, he said is what? So the famous poet, he says, what lulu? Or pearl. Pearls. Or mother of pearl. M-O-P. Well, ashbahi dhalika. Anything what? Like that. The ruling is a woman is not allowed to wear jewelry when she's in her what? Iddah of a widow. Clear on this?
2 types of VVS.
Further, read it loud. 2 types of VVS. Number 1. What does it stand for? What's the initial? Insufficient research.
Very, very slightly.
Very slightly
included.
Included.
Yeah.
Meaning the concept of the carbon and what the diamond comes from and the coal. And it's very, very slightly visible traces of carbon. Meaning when you see it, it's what?
It's almost flawless.
Crazy. As we say, they're blinking like, put on some sunglasses. Because it's what? The ice is what? It's authentic. And a low quality diamond, a mean diamond, a base diamond is going to have a lot of effects of the
cool. It's cloudy.
It's not. It ain't transparent. Everyone understand this or not? There's levels what? When it comes to this what?
Levels is.
درجات. طيب. Moving forward. رابعا ترك الخضاب بالحناء. She is not allowed to use henna. She can't go to a henna party and get henna. She cannot put henna on her body. خامسا الكحل لأن الرسول نهى المحادة عن هذه الأمور كلها. He says kuhl or mascara. Eyeliner, kohl cannot be used. The Prophet forbade a woman from doing these things. I.e., she's not allowed to what?
Beautify herself.
Beautify herself. In the time in which she's given her deceased husband his haqq of mourning. Moving forward. أما التنظف بالسدر والصابون فلا بأس به. As far as her washing up with lote tree leaves, little translation, he says, or sabun, soap, then there's nothing but. Now, what do we benefit from this? I will say, sisters, they asked the question regarding, can I use soap? Is soap considered perfume leaving the house? Or sisters, they ask about body spray or body wash. They spray it on, or even deodorant or lotion that has a smell in it. Allah surely knows best, but it doesn't seem that that's included in the actual what? Spraying it, walking outside with the perfume. The thing goes away, blends into your body, and it's easy for a man to say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, but you're not the one that's saying, I may smell, or I'm gonna sweat, or my clothes, or fabric softener. So you have to be mindful of the fiqh. We always say this, the fiqh of the Quran, the fiqh of the Hadiths, and the fiqh, fahm kalam ahl al-ilm, al-wajh sahih, understanding the speech of the what? The people of knowledge, and not just translating and taking it, but looking at the wisdom and the hikmah. Can you smell a woman's body wash or lotion by the time it's time to leave the house? Some maybe you can, maybe what?
Maybe not.
But it doesn't mean that the woman has to what? Stink. Doesn't mean that. Let alone the fact that you may take a shower, get dressed, make salat, brush your teeth, do all this stuff, then go outside the house, and all of it is what?
Neutralized, basically.
Or it's there, but it can't what?
You can't pick it up.
As a person, she puts on what? White diamonds or
Knightsbridge.
Knightsbridge, when she's leaving the house. Moving forward, he says, وَهَكَذَا اغْتِسَالُهَا لِلنَّشَاطِ وَالنَّظَافَةِ لَا بَأْسَ بِهِ. And the same applies to her washing up لِلنَّشَاط, to rejuvenate herself. I feel worn down, I feel tired, let me take a shower, let me wash up. He says, وَالنَّظَافَةِ, and cleanliness, once more. Islam does not promote you to be what?
Filthy.
Dirty and stinking. That's not Islam. Whether you call it Sufism or Tazkiyah or whatever else, that's not the Sunnah. You don't have to be flashy with expensive stuff to be what? Clean. That's not zuhd, to smell. To intentionally make yourself what? Smell bad and say, I'm a zahid. Nah, there's no Christian monks or no Rasputin, none of that. He's a holy man because he stinks. And that proves read about Rasputin. It proves his wisdom because he doesn't wash up. What? That's not our religion. Moving forward. وهكذا مبيتها تحت السماء في السطح أو الحوش ونحوها لا بأس به. And she's also allowed to sleep on the roof. And she's allowed to go outside in her yard before the gate. That's not considered her leaving the home of her husband. She can be under the stars. She doesn't have to be under the what? The roof. He says, وهكذا خروجها من البيت لحاجتها في النهار لا حرج فيه. And the same applies to her leaving her home during the daytime to get what she needs. To take care of her what? Her business, what she needs. Obviously, that's khilaf among the ulama. Some of them say that a woman who's in her wafat or the iddah of her wafat, she can leave at nighttime too, as long as it's safe. And others, they say it's only for the what? Daytime. Moving forward. He says, إِذَا لَمْ يَتَيَسَّرْ مَنْ يَقْضِيهَا لَهَا. If she doesn't have anyone that can what? Do it for her. And this also will show us another fiqh principle, is that a substitution or alternative is not the asl. It's a golden principle in fiqh. The substitution is not the what? Asl. You can't say that the ruling is now different just because it's permissible because there's a need for a substitution. The asl is that she's not supposed to what?
Go out.
And if it's permissible because she doesn't find anyone, that doesn't change the what?
The original rule.
Tabi. Moving forward. He says, وهكذا تكليمها للرجال إذا دعت الحاجة إلى ذلك على وجه لا ريبة فيه أو ريبة فيه مثل غيرها من النساء كما كانت تكلمهم قبل وفاة زوجها. And the same applies to a woman speaking to men if there is a need. If there's a what? A need in a way which isn't doubtful, scandalous. Her talking crazy and saying crazy things, speaking in a perfumed way. Everyone understand this? He says, like other women, just like she spoke to men when her husband was. I don't understand this. Now, obviously, many of you brothers may be different. I don't want no one hear my wife's voice and know my wife's name. What are you doing within 20 feet of my wife? The sister's coming down the steps, move out the way. You call the brother's house, the sister hangs up on you. Can I speak to Alameen? Bang. And people think, and we just mentioned this in Philly, they've been taught that this is the what? This is the sunnah and the way of the salaf. And this is ghayra. Nah. This is Sheikh Abdulaziz bin Baz. As long as it isn't nothing what?
Scandalous.
And indignified. She's going to the market. Can I have a pound of American cheese? Nothing than that. You see what I'm saying to you? She's not there flirting and talking to the guy, and she's asking for what she needs. Everyone understand this? So brothers, if you feel that that's the sunnah and that's the rule, and you're upholding your alpha male-ism and you're being dominant, then you're mistaken. Then you're what? You're mistaken. And if you want to be dominant or be an alpha male and other things, then pay all your wife's bills. You understand this? It's a reality. Take care of your wife, do all the other stuff that you can. You see what I'm saying to you? Teach your wife, do enjoy the good, forbid the evil. Instead of just thinking that this is the only concept of being jealous for your wife and being a protector and a qawwam of your wife. Speaking to the brothers is important now. Moving forward. And the same applies to those who have criticism or why are sisters in the class? Or why is the sister on the video? Why is the sister's voice doing the documentary? Or why is my sister speaking at the conference? Everyone understand this? So if someone is a deviant, or they're not Salafi, or someone is this and that, then so is what? Sheikh bin Baz. Oh no, that's not what Sheikh bin Baz means. What does he mean? She can go to the market and ask for the American cheese and green peppers, but can't participate in a class? What type of scales are you using for your fiqh? Everyone understand this? That's not what Sheikh bin Baz means. What does he mean then? Please, explain. Where's the exception to the rule? If she can talk about something as a hajjah, what could be more of a hajjah than the deen? Everyone understand this? Moving forward. He says, أما ظن بعض العامة أن المحادثة لا تكلم واحدا من الرجال فهذا شيء لا أصل له. As far as what some ignoramuses think, that a woman who's a widow cannot speak to any men, then this is what? La asla. It's what? Baseless. It has no asla. Not as a weak opinion, It's a weak view. It's not a correct view. He says what? Baseless. There's nothing to support it. وَإِذَا أَشْكَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ شَيْءٌ سِوَى مَا ذَكَرْنَا فَأَفِيدُونَا عَنْ ذَلِكَ وَنَحْنُ إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ نُوَضِّحُ لَكُمْ وَنُزِيلُ الْإِشْكَالِ. If there's anything else that's problematic to you, besides what we've mentioned, then we will be more than happy to what? Help you out. Inshallah ta'ala. And this goes to show you is that you learn the basics. You get the foundations. When something pops up, you do what? You call. You understand this? And it doesn't mean that you don't know the basics that you what? You call. These are the basic rulings, but there may be a thing that pops up or a problem or an issue. And that doesn't mean that you know what? Pick up the phone. Everyone understand this? And it also proves from this kalam, إِذَا مَا أَشْكَلَ عَلَيْهِمْ شَيْءٍ. If they don't have no other problematic issues, then what? Class. And that throws out the idea of the people, who are you to answer the question? Or to give this class? Or let's call Sheikh for them. We have to call Sheikh for them. We will call Sheikh for them right now. And the ruling is what? Clear. Calling for nasiha, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. You can never lose by giving advice to another person. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about we need to find the ruling. Sheikh, is it permissible for us to do this? And it's something that a student of knowledge is supposed to what? Know and have studied. And you read the kalam of Ibn Hajar and Fath al-Bari. What did the brother say? You know, brother? He said, who taught you what?
Who taught you?
The book of dream interpretation.
Who did you sit with?
Unfortunately. And there's no arrogance. I'm saying I'm graduating college in Hadith. Like, we studied the book from what the Salaf said about it. Ibn Hajar and Fath al-Bari. And you tell me I have to go back to Sheikh Fulan who's alive and say, yeah, Sheikh, what is meant by this hadith? The miseducation of our people, how did it happen? How did we get so far? How did we become so lost? Who taught the people this stuff? Moving forward. ونسأل الله أن يوفقنا وإياكم للعلم النافع والعمل الصالح وأن يصلح قلوبنا وأعمالنا جميعا إنه جواد كريم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. He says, we ask Allah to give us and you the ability to have beneficial knowledge and righteous action. And we ask Allah to fix our hearts and our actions, all of us. Indeed, Allah Azza wa Jalla is Jawadun Kareem, He's generous and munificent. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If anyone wants me to forward them this fatwa, I'll be more than happy to do so. We're not making anything up or reading something from our notes. This is the fatwa, that's the site. You see it? Inshallah ta'ala. So hopefully the sister or the brother, whoever asked the question last night, can listen to this and bring more clarity to them. And just for clarification, we're not bringing you guys any stuff from our pockets. Just making stuff up what we feel. What is that? And then the proof is where? In the pudding. And talk is cheap, but alhamdulillah, everything is transparent. What it is what? What it is. Wallahu alam. As far as the first question from Kuwait, then inshallah ta'ala, you can have the brother email me. Please, inshallah. Brother Muhammad Salah, you can email us at the website muftihadith@gmail.com. Please email me. Next question.
Explanation of the supplication.
Next question.
Initials NR, Toronto, Canada. Toronto, Canada, yeah. Assalamu alaikum, Mufti. Can you advise people who have severe social anxiety? It can make leaving the house, wearing the correct hijab, finding a job, or potential spouse very difficult.
Questions from Toronto with regards to advice to people who have extreme social anxiety. Leaving the house, doing this, doing that, it's very difficult. Like we said in many classes and lectures, there's a combination of things that you need. And the first thing that you need is the establishment and the solidifying of your relationship with Allah. And that is through tawbah. Even if you didn't do anything wrong to have the anxiety. But everyone needs tawbah. وَتُوبُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا أَيُّهَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. Allah addressed all of the believers to make tawbah. Even if you're not suffering from anxiety because of a sin, but you still need to make tawbah and clean your standing with Allah. You understand this? Your relationship with the Quran, with the adhkar, the prophetic supplications of sadness, of grief, of fear, all of that stuff is what crucially important to you. To establish if you don't have it, and to solidify it if you already have it. Then I say get therapy. Talk to a Muslim specialist. A Muslim specialist. Someone who's educated in those fields, and someone who has good basics of the Islamic knowledge, and they have most important contact to learning people. You don't have to be a scholar, but this person, this shrink, quote unquote, has a sheikh that he calls. And he gets advice with, and he goes over things with him. And he has I have a specific situation, sheikh. Can you help me with this? Is it permissible for him to reveal his sins to me? You understand this? Get therapy, inshallah ta'ala. Make dua for Allah to remove it from you. And the best way, and oftentimes the only way to overcome fear is to face it directly. Force yourself to get over it. Eventually, obviously that's easy for me to say, but try. You have to try. And if you don't try, then you're going to keep being a victim of yourself and of shaitan. You're going to miss out on many good, permissible, lawful things in life because of that. And the Muslim is supposed to be social. The Muslim is supposed to be in a community. The Muslim is not supposed to be alone. The Muslim is supposed to be together. Muslim is supposed to live with his friends and brothers and neighbors. That's how the Muslim is supposed to be. So if you have extreme social anxiety, at worst, it's going to have an effect on your deen. At worst. Or at best. And at worst, you can do, like you have doubt about Quran or other things. But at best, it's going to be what? It's going to affect your deen. Your hajj, your umrah, tarawih. It's going to affect your Jumu'ah. You can't do anything. You can't get married. It's going to be hard. And Allah knows best.
خلاص.
Right. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.